Did not launch hard. Hey guys, I'm here with the Jetta GLI. It's been refreshed for 2025. I've been driving it for about a week. I'm going to tell you how impressive of an enthusiast car this is, and it might be better than the Honda Civic Si. So stay to the end, because at the end, we'll put this on my spreadsheet of all the cars I've driven so far in 2025, but also, you know, is this a good buy, most importantly? And there are deals to be had on this really impressive performance sedan, enthusiast sedan, but also fuel economy sedan when we talk about those numbers today as well. So for 2025 on the outside of the GLI, well, it's become more streamlined. We have a light bar that goes across. We have new designed headlights. This color is called Monument Gray. I think it's a beautiful color. We have that red stripe that goes, it kind of frames the bottom chin of the vehicle. This has a blackout package, so we have the black wheels on here with the red calipers, making it look extra sporty. 19-inch wheels here. Of course, you have the red GLI badging, but if, like, you know, taking it from the side, there's this, Germans do some things really well with just the small details, making this look sporty. It doesn't look that much different than a normal Jetta. It performs a lot different than a normal Jetta. As we get to the back, kind of that light bar design goes across the back instead of independent rear taillights and dual exhaust, looking great back there. But I want to start under the hood. This is what separates a GLI from a normal Jetta. It's beeping at me because I left the key in here and it's running. I have the headlights on, so it's going to give me all sorts of beep. Now, this vehicle is actually made in Mexico, and I don't know how tariffs could or will affect this vehicle, but underneath the hood we have the EA888 engine with a 2-liter turbocharged direct injected force. This engine is very common for Volkswagen throughout the world. You even see it in the Atlas. Now, it's kind of G-tuned here. It makes 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, but it's 50 more horsepower than the 1.5 turbo you see in the base Jetta, or the non-GLI Jetta, I should say. All right, you got a hood stick there. This is a pretty heavy hood, but overall this engine is fairly quiet, despite being more of a performance engine. Now, in the GTI hatchback, that makes, I think, 241 horsepower. And like I said, it's a little bit detuned here, but the fuel economy you get is nothing short of impressive, as which we'll find out here when we start driving. I forgot to mention the transmission here. This is actually equipped with a 7-speed DCT, but you can get a 6-speed manual. And check out my previous review on the GLI a few years back before this refresh. There's some technology differences, of course, the design differences, but the manual is going to drive the same as it did back then, more than likely. Okay, there hasn't been that many changes to this vehicle, limited slip diff up front. But yeah, 6-speed manual like the Civic Si, but unlike the Civic Si, this offers a good manual transmission with the 7-speed dual clutch, which this one is equipped with. So let's go ahead and maybe open the trunk. This is a pretty big sedan. The trunk's real easy to open. Tons of storage in here. I want to say something like 14 cubic feet of space. We have a subwoofer sitting inside of the full diameter spare tire. Yes, this has a spare tire. I'm happy about that. You can fold down the rear seats, 60/40. Getting into the back seat, plenty of room for my kids, to be honest. So if you want a daily that is fun, this is going to be a great option. The seats here, the gray and the black, real nice touch. I appreciate them. I like how they're perforated in the back so they're not going to get too sticky. If I sit in the back, we have these GLI mats, good legroom, headroom's fantastic. I don't have vents back here, so that's similar to like the Civic Si, for example, if I remember. There are no charging points. However, there is a USB-C inside of here. All right, so nice seats back here. All right, in the front seat, we have memory seats. We also have lumbar control. Again, it's beeping the heck out of me, so let's go and close the door. Nice stitching here, red stitching for that more racy, I don't know, persona. Beats audio in here. On paper, it only has like 400 watts, but let me tell you, it sounds fantastic. Very well balanced sound system. You guys saw the sub in the back, and it never feels like it's over bassed. It just gives you a good volume too. It's not the loudest system, but it sounds, the quality is really impressive. So I like the Beats audio in here. This kind of reminds me of the new Camry. This kind of these lines on the dash, but there's not too much glossy black in here, which I'm happy about. I wouldn't say just the right amount, but it's not overbearing. No glossy black is the answer, but we do have it on the steering wheel here. And these buttons, they are touch capacitive, but I've gotten used to them. They're not hard to operate, and they're always fixed. We have a heated steering wheel here on the GLI, and it only comes in one trim, this Autobahn trim. So it's around $33K, but we'll talk about the deals that you can get here in a little bit. Paddle shifters back here, heated steering wheel, only really, it does the whole thing, but really I only feel kind of at the bottom. All right, GLI badge in here, we have aluminum pedals, 8-inch screen here. You can see my Android Auto is working wirelessly. The vents, ACs in here has been great this week. Heated and ventilated seats. This is also touch capacitive. However, this is much better than a lot of the other Volkswagens, at least in recent memory, because like, I don't know, I just feel like it's far more practical. And yes, I can slide if I want. I can still do the slidey stuff, but I like how it tells me exactly how much fan speed I have with this illumination on this touch panel. So it's not perfect, but it's very, I don't know, it's functional enough for me to not really complain about it. I believe I have a wireless charging piece down here. I don't know if it's been successfully charging my phone or not. Yeah, it just started, so that's good. You also have 2 USBs up front to accommodate the one here, or should I say complement the one in here. This is just rattly plastic, so you might want to put some rubber gaskets in there so it's not super loud with your things. This one has rubber, but I don't know why these don't. Red shifter, and again, this is where your manual stick would be as well. And yeah, I probably would prefer a stick in here, but we'll talk about how good this 7-speed is as well. All right, I think I've talked about, oh yeah, big sunroof, oversized sunroof. I do have a sunglasses holder, which is rubber mounted or rubber lined, and I do have an auto dimming rearview mirror here. So let's go and start driving the very impressively equipped GLI Autobahn. All right, let's start with comfort here in the GLI. I couldn't be more comfortable, to be honest. I don't feel like the seats have a nice give to them. Oh, I didn't show you the backup camera, by the way. Let's go and show you the backup camera. It's really low resolution. It's pretty pathetic, but it is what it is. Can't be too upset about it. We also have adaptive dampers in here, and you have a little button here that gives you different driving modes. I like being in comfort. I think comfort really strikes a balance. You still get the performance of this engine, this 2-liter, and you still get a nice steering feedback, even in comfort mode, but sport mode is just gonna give you lots of everything. The dampers are gonna stiffen up, so maybe I'll go ahead and get into that mode. I'll get into the sport mode here. The engine, well, now I'm getting like pumped in engine noise, I think. And I got some more vibrations. Maybe the vibrations were coming through the speakers. That was a bit strange. So let's zoom around that roundabout. Don't want to go too fast here, but the car behaves much more as you would expect it to with its sportiness in sport mode, of course. But like how I like to drive, I like comfort mode because yes, I can still get my full horsepower if I want it, but the fuel economy, I like how I can just put it front and center on this digital screen here. I believe there's a 10-inch screen back here, and it does change with your driving modes, but you can unlink it and customize it a little bit more if you want. But guys, I drove my kids to school in a city route. Today, I got 35.9 miles per gallon for city driving. I was driving fairly conservative, but there are times I took this thing at speed and accelerated quite aggressively too. And then on highway driving, I haven't done a lot myself, but Car and Driver, when I looked at their records, they got 36 miles per gallon driving at 75 miles an hour with this. So like, guys, you're going to be getting incredible fuel economy despite it having way more power than something like a Civic Si. When I tested the Civic Si recently, I only got like 25 miles per gallon in it. Now, the conditions weren't the same compared to me driving this car. Like I spent a little bit more time in Carline in that vehicle, but still I was expecting a lot better fuel economy in the Civic Si. This car gives you a bigger engine and better fuel economy with more power and torque. Like this has 28 more horsepower than the Civic Si and like 60 more pound-feet of torque. And you notice it, foot down, even in comfort mode, my gosh, it pulls so hard. I feel like this engine's underrated. I really do. I feel like, the power and the torque here feels more, why are we braking in the middle of the road? Just doing a spontaneous U-turn, it looks like. But I feel like the power is not 228 horsepower. It feels more like 300 horsepower here. So I don't know what, I mean, and like the 0 to 60 numbers here, I'll do one. I'll pull off to the side here. I got my drag meter out anyway, so I'll put it into sport mode. I'll put my flashers on, and you know, people are just doing spontaneous U-turns here. I can do a 0 to 60. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my flashers off, wait for this Highlander to pass us. Torque brake. Did not launch hard. There's 60. So 0 to 60 in 6.27. If I had better traction there, it would be a sub 6 second, I'm pretty sure. Very, very impressive. Guys, I was fighting for, these tires are really what's holding this car back, and you can always put nicer tires. That's the thing, the Civic Si, you can get the optional tires from the factory that are gonna be better. These all-season tires, as we just found out right there, they're not doing us any favors. Nor, I mean, it didn't launch very hard either. It was a very soft launch. And that's just like, man, the manual, I would be able to actually get probably a better 0 to 60 in the manual because I could launch it a little bit better than what this dual clutch can do. All right, so low 6 seconds, 0 to 60 on the automatic here with stock tires, which could only get better. Geez, I forget I'm in sport mode. This thing just wants to party in sport mode. So let's go back to comfort and focus on fuel economy. So I'm happy with the acceleration, I'm happy with the power, I'm happy with actually the ride quality, the adaptive dampers. That's something that the Civic Si used to have in previous generations, got rid of it. The ride quality is better here than a Civic Si. The fuel economy is better than a Civic Si. The space feels a little bit better as well. What else? I would say the Civic Si, if I remember right, it has rev matching downshifts, which is really fun. This doesn't have rev matching downshifts, if I remember correctly, and it does have rev hang, kind of like the Civic Si. So, you know, manual to manual is going to be up to the person to decide what works best for them. But yeah, the DCT here is really, really good. All right, now I'm kind of really tooting the GLI's horn. Are there things that it doesn't do so great? And the answer is yeah, of course. For example, like, you have a decent amount of wind noise and road noise, but for a performance car around $30,000, I'm not expecting anything more than that, and it's kind of falls in line with its competition. Maybe slightly edges them out, but it's nothing. It's not going to be like a luxury car in terms of isolation from the environment. Now, if you always have your music on, you might not notice, but there are rattles from time to time. They seem to go away and then they come back. This vehicle has about 7,500 miles on it, so it's still relatively like a brand new car. And it's a 25 model in the press fleet. So it does have a lot of miles for a press car, but it shouldn't, like, no car should have rattles under 10,000 miles. It's just the slightest, and it's not constant. It's here and there, it's not consistent. Get around this RX. Just crazy amounts of torque, and the engine does sound pretty good. It's a very smooth engine. When it comes to stop and start, I hardly don't even notice it. So yes, you come to a stop, the engine can turn off, which you can defeat with this button. I haven't felt the need to do that because it does it so seamlessly. All right, it doesn't bother me in this car. Where in other cars, it can shake the whole car, it can rattle, it can actually, you know, pull you forward. Also, this car's not perfect. Speaking of being at stops, it doesn't have, that I'm aware of, auto brake hold. And that's kind of strange. You think auto brake hold would be a standard feature on most new cars, but hey, Volkswagen, like, I was in an Audi SQ7 recently. Didn't have auto brake hold for our market in America. I know these cars in other markets get those sorts of features, okay? Oh, I haven't talked about the brakes, so let's just hit the brake. The brakes are great in here. Love the brake feel, plenty of stopping power. Those red calipers aren't just for show. They help this vehicle stop really. Wow, that's the world's shortest green arrow. Oh, so since I don't have auto brake hold, I just throw it into park when I'm at a stoplight, and then I can take my foot off the brake pedal. And there's a little menu touch capacitive button down here, which will pull up more features and more options, okay? Which I haven't felt the need to do because this climate control panel is just perfectly fine the way it is. So if you want to get back into your Android Auto, you just press menu, and then there you are. It's pretty simple. Is it as good as like the Civic Si's triple knobs? Nowhere close, but this is a big, I guess I'm happy with this. It doesn't frustrate me. It's not as good as the triple knob in a Honda with tactile buttons, and the engine just kicked on there and it barely shook the car. Very, very good system here. Finally got that green arrow about 20 minutes later, so let's go ahead and put it into sport mode and maybe play with the paddle shifters. It needs better tires. And I do get a rattling somewhere over here, but I only get it when I'm in sport mode. So wow, this DCT's really fast too with the manual shifters. Really fast. And it handles the first gear downshift quite smoothly too. All right, should we do another 0 to 60? But that Audi in front of us is gonna thwart us. Oh my gosh. I just have no traction with these tires. Let's see here, can I get around? There you go, 0 to 60 in 6.5, and we got people doing U-turns in front of us. So yeah, I mean, just these tires are not good enough to handle the performance here. If I bought this car, I'd probably swap out to summer tires, especially my environment here in like good weather Florida. If you live in the Midwest, maybe you keep these crummy tires, or maybe you get better all-season tires. I've had all-season tires that are much better than this, so I'll put on the screen what these tires are, because they're not good. I'll just say that. They're not capable of handling the performance of this car, which isn't that much. I mean, it's about, like, on paper it doesn't have that much, but in reality it has more performance than what it has on paper. I'll say that. So this car is extremely capable. It's very fun to drive. It needs better tires to extract its performance. But yay, I'm happy with this car. I'm really happy. I'm gonna get back into comfort mode. Would I pick this over a Civic Si? And the answer is, if you need an auto, absolutely. It's an absolutely better car than the Civic Si. It's faster than Si for about the same price. And in fact, there can be deals. Like, I'm seeing these for $4 grand off of MSRP, which is an incredible deal to get all of this performance, all of these features, heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. I have radar cruise control in here. I haven't used it once this week. I've been mainly driving to town. Like, it has everything I could really want. Now I can nitpick. Yes, there are some areas that are a little bit too hard touch plastic. There's no vents in the back for the kids, which could be an issue. But I'm telling you, the AC in here has been really impressive on low fan speed this week. So I know it can cool down the whole vehicle in the hot summer. So, and the Beats audio is great. The big sunroof is great. Like, the GLI is a packaging and performance home run for enthusiasts. And let's go ahead and, like, I don't want to praise it too much without looking on the spreadsheet, especially the deals. Guys, you can get this around $30,000 instead of the $34K. Now, taxes, all that stuff on top of that, but there's $3 to $4 grand discounts going on in my area on this vehicle. That's that's not a joke. That's for real. It's happening. All right. And I'd be picking this over a GTI. A GTI, just, you know, when you add the Autobahn on, it's many thousands of dollars more than this. And the GTI no longer has a manual. What the hell? The GLI has essentially killed, well, the pricing and the lack of a manual has killed the GTI here in America. All right, but the fact that it still has a manual optional, and the 7-speed dual clutch here is fantastic, and I'm getting crazy fuel economy. Like, it says about 30 miles per gallon, but I haven't been helping that situation here with my really aggressive driving. So anyways, into the spreadsheet, where does it land? The GLI is a good car, so it's not going to fall into fire sale only or pay me to drive. Is it S tier? Take my money. Well, I don't think it's that good. So we're narrowing it down between A and B. All right, is it an excellent purchase or a solid buy? Well, it depends. If you're getting it at MSRP, it's a solid buy. But with the deals I'm seeing in my area, it's an excellent purchase. So I'm going to put it in the A tier here, the GLI. It is a fantastic vehicle. It doesn't mean the GLI is better than the GR Corolla, for example. They're very different cars. If you need all-wheel drive GR Corolla, but if you look, the GR Corolla really starts at like $40,000. So the GR Corolla is almost more of a direct competitor to the Golf R. So it's like it's not necessarily in the same ballpark, especially when you can get a GLI with all its features. The interior of the GLI is better than the GR Corolla. The seats maybe aren't as good as the GR Corolla, but everything else is better than the GLI. It has a far more usable back seat. It's more fuel efficient. The GLI is a fantastic vehicle, and it is an excellent purchase if you can get it under MSRP, around $30,000. It is an excellent purchase. And I think the GLI looks great. I like how it's not overly styled like the GR Corolla. I like how the GLI looks. By default, since it has the 2-liter EA A88 engine, you can modify these GLIs and very easily get more power out of them with not a lot of tuning, with not a lot of upgrades. So I'm a big fan of the GLI. It's been years since I've driven one, but it is fantastic. It's a really, really good car. I'll see you guys in the comments. Let me know what you think. And stay tuned. I got to drive the Aviator and review it in the next couple days. So stay tuned for that review as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.